This is a video checklist for you for your extended essays, world studies and not world studies. So this is the cover page of a brilliant essay from last year, 33 out of 34. The only thing I'd say is probably we should say the global issue here, or the title, global issue if it's world studies, title if it is just a normal extended essay. You must have your research question, obviously exactly worded the way it is. And then if it's world studies or whatever subject it is, you write that here. If it's world studies, you must include the equality and inequality or peace and conflict, that sort of thing. And you must include both subjects. If it's just a history extended essay, just write history extended essay. Obviously, the word count, your personal code, and the May session. So that's the cover page. The hold it. The contents page should look really good. I've discussed this with you. Really should look like them, the examiner saying, oh yeah, look, that looks so well structured. I'm already positively thinking about this extended essay, as this one does. Use a proper contents page rather than just typing it yourself. So the examiner liked that, a little tick. So it's all there, bibliography, everything. Then you have your introduction. Everyone should have this in their introduction, and then there's a few extra things for world studies, but everyone should state your research question. Yes, again, I know it's on the cover. It should be written out somewhere in your introduction. Therefore, the research question is, open quotes, and write it. How was it arrived at? Well, that can be a little bit personal. Nothing wrong with that. We don't want too much personal stuff in a personal essay, in an extended essay, but why not have it to explain how you came up with it? Related aspects are discussed. If you're writing an English essay and you're focusing on one thing, you say, this is obviously related to several other things, but I'm focusing on just this one thing. It's telling the examiner that you're really focused in your extended essay. Hypotheses are stated, hypothesis or hypotheses. That means you should definitely write, this essay will argue that, and then whatever the answer to your research question is. The context of the research question is stated, so the bigger picture. The significance is mentioned. Why is it worth doing this? Why is it worth doing? And evidence the essay is well planned. In other words, you could even put a subtitle method in if you like, but definitely say use the word methodology or something to say the way I'm going to go about answering this research question is as follows, and then you write it in the introduction, and then an overview of how good your sources are. Are there any problems with them? Is your essay particularly a political hot potato, in which case everybody is very biased? Have you got any truly independent sources? So a bit of an overview. If you're doing world studies, then you must justify thoroughly why you need two subjects, need them, and state what they are, obviously. You must describe, I would definitely start the whole essay with what is the global issue. This is a top essay here. And here it is. Here's the introduction. Gender equality is a global issue because it's not merely blah, blah, blah. So that's how you start it in a world studies essay. So you say, what is your global issue? What is your case study? And you also say why your case study is a good one. So lots to do in the introduction. And then you write your essay. And you see this one just looks great. It's just got an A written all over it. It's got interesting diagrams. The footnotes look good, but notice the examiner here has said, "Oh, aye, what's this? They're so good." Everything else looks like a good footnote, but this one is just a clarification of what UNSDG means, and that the examiner said that should have been in the essay. You shouldn't footnote that sort of thing. And if you do, it has to be in the word count. So footnotes are not for just clarifications and things like that. Just say what that organization is. Slight error here, IBID, which means the same as the one above. And that's because she probably added something and then it pushed it onto the next page. So it's saying it's the same as the Embassy of Sweden, but it's a slight error, and the examiner notices these things. So she lost 1 mark, which was for her general presentation. So this is all great, all looking very strong, all the footnotes look the same: name or name, comma, and then the open brackets, date, and then what it is. There's other ways of doing it, but this person has done it the same all the way through. And again, a bit more clarification here rather than an actual genuine footnote. And the examiner's not happy with that. It's all looking very nice. And so this is double spaced. Obviously, make sure yours is double spaced. And again, this is where the examiner has just lost their patience and say, since the success of economics is based on... Now, you're writing the essay in the footnotes now. Is this included in the word count? And it is also implying this is just the wrong way to do it. So just lost a mark. They are finding reasons to lose marks. What is in your essay? Well, you're constantly maintaining the focus on the research question. Answer the research question. Any paragraphs that aren't answering the research question have got to go. You should use subject-specific terminology. If you're writing a history extended essay, use the concepts that are in the history IB curriculum. If you're doing a ESS and chemistry one, then you've got to use words from both of those. And you should assess your sources as you go, and in the conclusion and the introduction, in terms of their quality and their appropriateness. You're trying to do a reasoned argument here. It's so hard. This student got 12 out of 12 for critical thinking. That's so hard to do. But that comes in these two parts here. There is a clear and coherent reasoned argument. This is why you put the hypothesis in the introduction in the first place. You say, I'm going to argue for this, and then you argue for it. Well, have you? And there is a critical evaluation of the argument. So you say, I can see a weakness in my argument here. However, I maintain that this is the reason why I think it still stands. So it's a sort of self-awareness of the strengths and weaknesses of your own work. It's very hard. So obviously all pages are page numbered, all necessary terms are defined or explained. That is important. People overlook that. So if you're writing like an economics essay and you put in, I don't know anything about economics, one of the terms in economics, then you need to define it, and don't assume that everybody knows what everything is. Obviously, spell check and have it proofread by a friend is always a good idea. Double spaced. By the way, your extended essay is sort of aimed at the level of your friends. It is aimed at students. If they can't read your extended essay and understand it, then there's something wrong with it. Double spaced, but not the footnotes, because that really makes it go crazy. That you can use up half a page just on footnotes. Pop in if you need any help with the technical side, for example. And then, so we obviously reach our conclusion. Your conclusion should have the research question written again, because this is look at this. This essay has discussed what with blah blah blah, and then they are answering the question. So the conclusion is the final answer to the research question. So include it. All conclusions are directly relevant to the research question. We don't want any new. We don't want anything that just isn't relevant to the research question. All conclusions reached are consistent with the evidence found. It's really bad when a little bit of extra stuff creeps into the conclusion, and it either hasn't even been referred to, or you didn't actually provide any evidence for it. You may have some unresolved questions, very likely. If you had more time, what can you do? Just short, though, because you can put these into your reflections in the reflections document with Crom. Any new questions that emerged as you begun to understand the topic? You may have found a new question that you would like answered. It's really nice. Again, that may appear in the reflections rather than the conclusion, but it could go in here if it's really good. A final evaluation of the overall quality of the sources. And is it clearly identified? In other words, does it have the conclusion? Yep, dead easy. And so obviously then we just have the bibliography. It only has works that you are referenced. It must not have just works that you read as part of it. So only reference works, only obviously all the works that are referenced have to appear in the bibliography, including any pictures. Bibliography is cited absolutely consistently. They are red hot on this. In this case, they've gone surname, first initial, open brackets, date, title of whatever, and make sure you have an access on websites have a date of access. Nothing should be Wikipedia, but Wikipedia has a fantastic way of citing things, and you can get a lot of citations from Wikipedia, just none of them are Wikipedia, and it's obviously page numbered. Okay, great. Good luck.